Hello everyone, I'm back with another video. This time I'll show you 15 time saving hacks in Clip Studio Paint that you can use to streamline your workflow as well as work more efficiently. These are the tips I gathered over time, so without further ado, let's jump right in. Alright, so the first thing I want to introduce to you is the Clip Studio Paint component mode. This is kind of like a new feature in Clip Studio Paint. Basically, you can have your phone as a remote control for when you're drawing. In order to use the companion mode, you need to have the latest version of Clip Studio Paint installed, both on your smartphone and your main device, which is the device you are going to draw with. When you finished installing Clip Studio Paint on your smartphone, please launch it. Now, the first thing you will see is the Get Started button, the Sign Up button, and the Log into your Clip Studio Paint account button. Please click on the Get Started button and waiting for the app to loading up. Now on your screen, you will see at the top rows, there's a lot of small icons. Click on the smartphone icons, which is the connecting to the companion mode icons. Now my screen might look a little different than yours because I already connected to the companion mode before, but don't worry, the procedure is the same. So now you went to your main device, click on that icon again. This is located on the command bar. You, at the top of your screen, click the Connect to Smartphone icon. And now your device would generate a kind of QR code. Now you look back at your smartphone and then click the button Scan QR code. The software might ask you to allow access to your camera, so please do that. And now use that to scan the code on your screen. Now you are connected to companion mode. On my screen right now, let me create a new canvas. So this is like a blank canvas. So here in the look at your smartphone, usually I find that I use this function a lot. So for example, if I draw something on the screen, I just need to click on the undo button, and there's like the same thing at the Ctrl Z button. Instead of clicking the combination keys on my keyboard, I only need to tap on my smartphone and it's already do the function. So here I'm clicking the redo and undo button. So there's also another useful function in this list. Like I usually use the flip horizontally when I need to flip my canvas, or flip vertically, but I don't use flip vertically a lot. So the next one is the color wheel. So when I need to pick color, for example, if I have like a small canvas like this, when I hide all my dialog boxes away, I can use my color wheel here. So picking color, for example, I'm picking like a red color, and there we go. It's already synced to my main computer. I don't even need the color wheel on my screen. The next one is the gesture pad. So it's the same thing when you're having like a tablet, a touch tablet. So if I need to move my canvas, I pinch it down like this and rotating it like that, or even tapping double tap to undo, triple tap to redo, that kind of gesture. If I somehow mess up the canvas like this and I want to resume my rotation, I need to just click this button right here and it will reset my rotation. The same thing you did when on the navigator window right here. It's the same button. So the next one is the displaying subview. I don't really use this function a lot. You can try this if you want, but I'm just gonna go through it. This is the color mixing palette, also something really new. You can like mixing color right in here, like for example like this. I'm just trying to do some random thing and using the eyedropper drop and just like picking the color from this here. It will automatically pick the color in here for me. See? So then next one, yeah, it's just, I think it just show my canvas instead of preview my canvas. So this one is still important one. I personally like, if you are using like a tablet or an iPad and you don't have an external keyboard, this one may be useful for you. For example, if I want to change my brush size, let me clear my canvas right here. If I pick this brush, for example, and I want to change the brush size, I only need to click Ctrl Alt and then changing the brush. I don't even need a keyboard, right? It's pretty useful in my opinion if you're having like a small screen, and having this tab keyboard here really help. And the next one, and I think it's the last one, is just like the settings, how you want your companion mode layout to be, how the quick access list, and how to use the companion mode. If you click this button right over here, it will link you to the article from official Clip Studio Paint. So if you want to read more details on that, you can, but that's generally about a companion mode. But in my opinion, I think companion mode is useful in a way when, for example, when I'm traveling, I couldn't bring my huge laptop with me, and I'll only have like a 10 inches iPad. So then that would really help me to have this on my smartphone by my side, and then doing a zoom in, zoom out. No, not really zoom in, zoom out, but I undo, redo, change brush side, picking the color. It's pretty convenient. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So the next one is the command bar. The command bar is located at the top of your screen with a bunch of icons. So what it does is that it lets you have a quick access to an action such as open a file, create a new canvas, save, access the fill tool, and even the companion mode right here. If you want to add an action to your command bar, you can just right-click on this here and click on command bar settings. In here, you can open the menu command, pop-up palettes, anything, tools. If I want, for example, if I want to add like a zoom tool in here, zoom in, for example, I would just click this one and click add, and it's already added to the top of the screen. So what if you want to delete something from the command bar? All you have to do is just right-click and then click delete. Also this one, right-click and delete. Pretty simple, right? Also, do you know you can add to the command bar by just dragging and dropping a tool in it? I usually do that all the time to quick access to my brush. For example, I'm using this brush often, the Mamel inking brush. So all I need to do is selecting this brush, hold and drag it to the top of the command bar. So now when I'm drawing or inking, I only need to click this brush and then inking right onto my canvas. I can move to other tools, other actions, and this one is still at the top for me to access it. Next one is the pose scanner function. This is something I recently discovered in Clip Studio Paint. Do you have like a picture of yourself, your friends, or some celebrities that you really want to study, or the anatomy of a model you really want to study? This is a great function for you to do that. So what this does is that it's get your image and then importing it as a 3D model. You can look at a 3D model from different angles and perspectives. So how you can do that is going to File and then Import, and then click this button right here, Pose Scanner Technology Preview. So then if we prompt an open image, this is the photos I got from Rachel Bradley. I bought it from ArtStation, so I'll including the link at the description below if you want to check her out. So for example, I'm picking this picture of her and then importing it. So waiting for your software to import it. So now you're choosing the body type. If you want to choose like male, female, version 1, or female, version 2, female, I'm choosing female version 2 and press OK. Now you just wait for the software to reading the pose and then importing it. Here we go, here's the pose. So let me pull out the original image. So this is the original image of her holding her phone like that. You see there's a minor issues with the hands. It's not in the correct place, but still with some minor adjustment like this. For example, moving the hand up a little bit like that. You can study the pose from different perspective like that and helping with your arts a lot. I usually do using this function when I need to do study on anatomy and how different perspective would work. I think I would recommend this one if you're trying to imagine a pose from a difficult angles. The color history. Have you ever picked a color, then pick another color, and then completely forgot what you just previously picked? Don't worry, you have the color history palette. So, for example, in here, I picked this blue here, and then I'm clicking the orangey here. And if I want to get that blue again, I just couldn't pick any blue here because you see I have different shaded blues here. So what I want is going to open the color history palette. To open it, you click on Window, and find here color history right here. Here's the palette. So these are the color I picked a long time ago. The most recent one will be on the top left here. So I just picked the orange one. I want to pick the blue again. So here is the blue color. All I need is click this color and it's already picked the same color again for me. Pretty useful, right? I use this one a tons of time and save me a lot of time trying to figure out what I've just previously picked. Number 5, selecting layers. If you are a person who using a tons of layers like me right here, then this function may be your lifesaver. So, for example, if I want to know where does this rock belong on which layer, all I need to do is holding down Ctrl and Shift, and then click on this portion right here, and it directs me to this layer right here. Another example, if I want to know where's this orange cape on which layer, all I need to do is again holding down Ctrl Shift and then clicking on this orange, and it directs me to this layer right here. Number 6, split layer. Another useful tool if you have a lot of layers like me right here is the split layer view. So in order to do that, you have to click the button right here, which is so layer in 2 panes. When you click the button, your layers will be divided in 2 parts. Here's the divider. You can drag the divider into any way you want, and this is useful for managing layers if you want to do something right at the top of the layers. For example, this folder right here, and then the layer all the way at the bottom, which is this layer right here. You don't have to scrolling through it like all the way down. All you have to do is keep one up here at the top and one at the bottom. To turn this one off, all you have to do is just click the split button again and return to normal. 7. Select using Ctrl. For example, if I want to selecting this rocks right here, normally you would go to the lasso tool and then trying to zoom in and figure out the edges like this, right? Which is really time consuming. Actually, you can find a quicker way to do this by finding which layer is this rock is on. For example, this is like previous application on selecting layer. I only need to hold the Control and Shift and click on the rock, and it will direct me to this rock layer right here. And I believe it is this layer right here because I have a clipping mask. So then all I need to do is holding down Control and then pressing this layer. Voila, the magic just happened. It selects all my rock layer and perfectly. So this also works on a folder too. For example, let me deselect this one. This folder, yeah, is for the character at the top. So if I want to select all of them at once, I only need to holding down Control and then pressing on the folder. Ta-da! It's already select everything. This saves me a lot of time because I usually organize my foreground, objects, and then background into separate folders. If I want to select them again, all I need to do is pressing Ctrl and clicking on the folder or layers, and then I will have the selection ready. Number 8, select color gamut. So what selecting color gamut is that you specify a color and the program will choosing that color within an image for you. Also, by the way, this image does not belong to me. I found it online and I just want to use it for this example alone. So, for example, I want to extracting the leaf texture of this image. I go to select and then select color gamut. And in here, you can see that the selection type. So usually this one is only select one color alone. So if you want to selecting multiple, you should choosing this one. I recommend using the add to selection color picker. So if I want to pick the light green here and then picking the one next to it like this, I can select the entire color range that I have specified. And when you're using this, if you want to refer only on one layer, you can just detick this button, like untick it. And if you want to refer to multiple, all layers, reference layers, selected layers, anything, then click this button. And now when you're satisfied with what you have selected, then hit OK. So I've extracted the color out of this bush. So I want to copy it to my illustration. I can do that by pressing Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, or edit, copy, and then edit and paste. So here you can see it's a pretty nice texture. So what I use this color range tool is that I extract the texture out of a reference layer I took, a reference image, I took, and then adding it to the background of my illustration to adding noise and realism to my art. I found it pretty useful if I can do that, and I hope you can find it useful too. Number 9, color picking tool. I bet that you are pretty familiar with this tool, but basically it's just pick the color on whatever you have on your canvas. So normally when you access the color picking tool, you would click on this eyedropper tool right here. But if you don't want to go through the trouble of finding this tool and then go back into your brush, all you have to do is right click on this area you want to pick. Look, I want to pick the green here, or the blue here, or the orange here. All I need to do is just right click and it will pick the color for you. So this one, what if you want to pick the color on your screen? For example, if you have like your artwork and then you open a Chrome browser having a nice image and you, wow, I want to pick that color, but you don't want to save that image and then import it in your canvas to pick the color. All you have to do is going to edit and then pick screen color. The color picking icon will appear. I meant the eyedropper icon, and then, for example, if I want to pick this screen color right here, I need to click it, and there we go. You already picked the color. Number 10, change brightness to opacity. So normally when you're downloading brush from the Clip Studio assets, you usually have this type of brush where you need to specify the line color as well as the subcolor. So for example, this is the flower color. I picked the line color to be black and the color of flower to be white. So if I draw it here, you can notice that it have a white flower with a black line. So if I somehow want to change the overall color of the flower to, let's say, orange, I need to pick the subcolor, for example, something like this, and then when I paint on it, the flower changes to orange. But there's a drawback. If you want to color this one, you cannot color under it. For example, I created a layer under it and then picking some random color. You cannot color under it like this because it's not going through. If you're telling me to like adding a clipping mask to the flower and then color on top like this, then you would lose the line, right? And it's kind of frustrating. You can use. So what my solution is this. All you have to do is using the change brightness to opacity button. So let me deleting this layer right here and creating another layer. If I draw the same flower with a black line art and a white background like this, let me show you. Okay, like this, and then going to edit and then convert brightness to opacity. So what it does is that when you are at white, your opacity is 0, so it's extracting the line out for you. So now if you want to color underneath it, you just need to create a layer underneath it and then picking your color and then just paint in the color you want to paint. You are not restricted to one color anymore. Like I can put multiple color random, obviously like random color like this, and it works. I hope you find this function helpful because I found it pretty helpful. Sometimes I need to quickly draw in a flower using flower brush, but then I get blocked by the subcolor. The change brightness to opacity helped me to extract the line art out of it. Number 11, merge visible to new layer. So usually when I have a lot of layers and then I want to starting something new and merge them on one layer for easy adjustment, I only need to right click on the layer, any layer works, and then select merge visible to new layer. So here at the top, I already have this layer right over here. It's merging everything on the canvas into one layer. And for example, if I want to making changes to this one, like this, and I don't like it, all I have to do is just deleting it, right? But then all of you might wonder why I use these functions. So normally I use this function when I'm near the end of my painting and I want to merge all of them in one piece and then exporting out or making adjustment, like a tone adjustment, color balance. I don't want to have a lot of layers. I want it on one layer, and then if I make any mistake somehow, I can just turn off that layer and then I will revert it to the original. 12. Split and rearrange windows. Do you know that you can split your current canvas into different ones and then putting them side by side? You can easily do that by going to Window, Canvas, and New Window. There's an instance of your canvas popping up, and then you can just dragging the name either by you want it to floating on your canvas or by dragging it side by side right here. And now you have your canvas side by side next to each other. You can zoom in one onto one and then having the other still have a full size. I recommend using this one if you have a large monitor. You can still open another instance. It's really fine. You can open another window, letting it float like this. Erase and color without crossing reference line. Are you a fan of line art? And have you encountered this trouble when you try to lay down the base color, but then stuck with the process of trying to erasing the edge and trying to color them again and again. Now you may be relieved by hearing this. Clip Studio Paint have the anti-overflow function, which help you to color stay within the line art. So all you have to do is click on your line art and then clicking on set it at a reference layer. Once you do that, go to your base color layer and then picking your brush and go to this wrench icon. In here, you go down to going down to anti-overflow and then do not cross line of reference layer. Tick this box. Now you can color with ease, but because it's only stay within your reference line. This also applies to any tools. For example, the eraser tool, go to the wrench icon, anti-overflow, and checking the do not cross lines of reference layer box. Now you can go in and then erase like this. Go in and erase like that. Sometimes it's, because my brush is too large, but it really helps. Here we go. See, it's pretty useful. Bonus content. Here's my quick tip on how to lay out base color. So please go ahead and go to Clip Studio Asset and find this tool, the Close and Fill tool without gaps. I'll include a link in the description below for you to check it out. Once you go to this page, please click the download button. Once you have downloaded this material, please go back to your program and go into the selection tool right here. Usually you have this kind of icon selection area. And down here, I already imported the tool right here. So if you don't know how to import it in, go ahead and click the Add Subtool button. So the most recent one you have downloaded will be right here. Since I already imported it in, it won't show here, but it's probably will show in your screen. When you find it, click it and click the Add to Palette button. So now, your line art layer, go ahead and choose it, and just as we previously did, click the Set as a Reference layer. Now create a layer for your base color. Now from here, please select the tool you just add, and then select your base color. Now here's the magic part. All you have to do is draw a selection around your line art, like such, and voila! Amazing, isn't it? It's already built in for you, and it's a closed fill. If you turn off the line layer, then you'll see it's a closed fill. So now you can combining it with the anti-overflow function I introduced earlier by going to the wrench icon, anti-overflow, and do not cross line of reference layer. Now you just go in and erase. Isn't it saving you a lot of time and trouble? I think this is a pretty useful tool for me because I use it so often when I want to quickly lay down the base color without the trouble of going over and over again. I hope you find this tool useful too. Number 14, vector layer and vector eraser. So if you do line art a lot, you will know this problem of you going in, zooming in a little in the line art and trying to erase where the line crossed and leaving the tails. So for example, if you, when create another layer, if you have like this line crossing right here, you need to zoom in and then trying to erase it without damaging the line, right? And very exhausting, right? So do you know that vector layer is a pretty useful tool for doing this? I will illustrate what I meant by creating a new vector layer. You can create a vector layer by clicking the new vector layer button right here, or going to layer, new layer, and vector layer. Okay, so once you create a vector layer, for example, if you want to draw a line down like this, and you want to erase the cross section of this one right here, you can just go to eraser and then vector eraser. And once you're in here, you have three options. This one is like a normal eraser. The second one is erasing up to intersections, which is what we need, right? So, for example, if I click button right here and right here, see, it's magically erased up to your intersections. So, for example, if you want to know what is this whole line means, it's just, let me go back, it's just erasing the entire line, entire stroke you put down. I don't use this one much, I only use this one. So, for example, if I have like something like this, like it's kind of confusing. All I need to do to erase the intersection is like this, drag, 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 drag. See, it saved me a lot of time trying to zoom in and zoom out. So another useful one for vector layer is adjusting the line width. So let me erase what I have right here. For example, if I'm drawing a line like this, not a line, like a curve, and you see it's kind of have a thin curve, and I want to increasing the width of this curve, all I want to do is going down here, the correct line button, usually your button will look like this, the correct line button, and then click adjust line width right here, and then go into thicken, narrow, scale up width, scale down width, which is the same thing. If you want to thicken the line, click right here and change the brush size. If I want to thicken this part, see, I can change the amount of thickness I want to. So I increase it, see. Now, if I want to decrease the line, I only have to like narrow, right? So I think this is pretty useful when you're doing line art because you need to consider the line weight, and having to draw a line over and over and over again is so exhausting. I know I have done that before too. So this is useful when you have to adjusting the line width with just one click, one drag, and then there we go, it's thickened for you. So simple, right? Now another bonus for vector is you can change to different brush types. So for example, I go into the operation tool right here, and then go to brush shape. If I want to change this to any of the brush here, right now I have a pen, right? If I want to change to like, let's see, one fun brush, yeah, the hot one. See, my line changing to the hot one. If your brush you want to change does not here, don't worry. Let's go and go to your brush. For example, if I want to have this ink oil pen, and then you just need to pick your brush, go into the wrench icon to open the subtool details box, and then going down to brush shape, and then click add to preset. It's still adding to here, and when you go back to the operation tool, your brush is added at the top, so you can change it directly here. See, it's not any noticeable effects because my brush is just like the same. And also, if you want to change the size of your vector line, you can just click on this arrow right here, or dragging the slider, you can change it. This is uniformly changed your entire line. If I want to, let me hide this. If I want to thicken it, let's see how much. Here, I thicken it, and then if I want to decreasing it, see, it's uniformly changing my line. Then I put it to normal. And so if you added your brush shape here, if you want to remove it from the brush shape, it's pretty easy. You can right click it, I believe. Oh no, not right here. You have to go to a brush, not in the operation tool. Go to your brush, go to the wrench icon again, and go to brush shape, and right click. No, not right click, sorry, I apologize again. Click on this trash button, and it will deleting your brush shape out of here. Don't worry, it won't delete your entire brush, just the brush shape out of the box. Last and not least, number 15, change your brush size. So this is a pretty simple one. When you want to change your brush size, instead of going to the brush size palette here and clicking each individual size, you can change it in two ways. The first way is pressing Ctrl and Alt, holding it down, and then dragging it like this, dragging it across the canvas to your left, right, or to top and bottom, right? And then it will automatically snap your brush, changing the brush size to the size you want. Other ways you can do this is going through the square bracket keyboard. So the square bracket is this one right here. So when you click this square bracket, it will like decreasing your brush size, and the closed square bracket will increasing your brush size. But when you using the square bracket, it will snap to your brush size preset like that. So open square bracket decreasing, and then close square bracket is increasing. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you for spending your time watching until the end of my video. Those are the 15 tips, shortcuts, and tricks I gathered over the time to help me speed up my process and improve my workflow. I hope you find any of those helpful. If you do, please like my video, leave a comment, or share it to your friends so they can know it too. Until next time, have a wonderful drawing time. Thank you.